Good morning. Good morning. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, December 28th, 2021, Tuesday, and time is 3:40 AM. मैं सूरज सिंह सिविल इंजीनियर भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज दिनांक 28 दिसंबर 2021 सुबह के 3:40 और आपके सामने going to present talks on quality, and title being as usual. Every day I announce this is civil field engineering, life, engineers and concrete specifications, quality issues. Of course, when specifications are concerned, quality automatically comes into picture, and then contracts, designs, construction methods, and of course communication, coordination and disputes, etc., etc. This is important one for everyone because of these certifications. This is my address, professional representation, entitlement, as well as communicative email Suraj_engineer Suraj underscore engineer ENGINEER at yahoo.co.uk, and my professional entitlement FIE and INT PE India or International Professional Engineer India, along with Chartered Engineer India. I explained to you many times, and this is updated certificate of International Professional Engineer India, valid up to September 30th, 2025. And here is Chartered Engineer certification. It remains valid until one is corporate member of Institution of Engineers, and it goes with corporate membership. Otherwise, Institution of Engineers. And here is quality file. Quality in Bharat, India. Quality file which I produce all time for letting people to know what I mean by that. Quality means life. I consider as life. I am very serious about issue of quality because for me it is not very different. It is also not very different for you, because everybody must be interested in quality achievement, quality system and quality in products. Whatever products we require to buy, कोई भी चीज़ हम लेना चाहते हैं, क्वालिटी जिसको हम हिंदी में मुश्किल भी नहीं होती है अगर हम उसको लेना चाहें तो। कोई ऐसी चीज़ नहीं है विश्व में जो हम चाहें और ढंग से ले ना पाएँ। ये जानना भी बहुत मुश्किल नहीं है। वैसे तो बातें होती हैं कहने की, लेकिन सच्चाई तो यही है कि क्वालिटी भी ज़रूरी है. इट इज़ एसेंशियल. आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ माई कंट्री, that is Bharat, India. I am talking about that. Though I have worked overseas for many years, that's a fact. And it's also a fact that I learned a lot quality only in my career when I worked overseas. I worked in Iraq, in Libya, in Gulf countries, and I know what quality means. I also worked in my country and I know what level of quality we have or had. मैंने यहाँ भी काम किया हमारे देश में और विदेशों में भी कई वर्ष काम किया, कई देशों में किया, इराक, लीबिया, गल्फ कंट्रीज़, और मैंने समझा कि आखिर गुणवत्ता का तात्पर्य क्या है। एक बड़ा अंतर, और जो मैंने अपनी एजुकेशन में, शिक्षा में पढ़ा और जो पाया विश्व में, फील्ड में, काम में, बहुत भारी अंतर, बहुत भारी अंतर। क्वालिटी का शब्द शायद हमने समझा ही नहीं। वी फेल टू अंडरस्टैंड मीनिंग ऑफ क्वालिटी इन प्रोफेशन और क्वालिटी इन लाइफ, and I think that is root cause of problem with quality. As I say in title, it is field engineering. That is true. It is field engineering, and field engineering does not mean physical work only. This means practical engineering other than educational engineering. Educational engineering is limited to theory and is very, very limited to practical aspect. Vastly, you can say, engineering education in our country is theoretical one, 95% theoretical one, conventional practicals, conventional theory, and I don't think there is some scope, even if you go to higher degrees like post-graduation or doctorate, you have certain bind or bound. You cannot say something what happens in field or what happens in life that we can achieve. Purpose of engineering is to solve problems, to provide solutions to problems. That is sole purpose of engineering, to initiate something or to improve something, to plan something, to do something, to check something and to improve something. And that is what we can say unit of development. डेवलपमेंट का मतलब यही है कि आप किसी भी चीज़ को अच्छी तरह से और करिए, उसको समझिए, उसको चेक कीजिए और उसकी गलती है तो ठीक कीजिए. दैट इज़ व्हाट आई से, प्लान समथिंग, डू समथिंग, check something and improve something. Already there is already a thing or product. You already know what is that. You are given what does it contain and you have to improve it based on your knowledge. Or if you start something new, that is what you have to design. When you design something, you must have good knowledge of that subject. Otherwise, there is no possibility that one can design it excellently. And when I say excellently, this means as much better it is you can do. Excellently means it should be cost-wise effective, cost-wise optimum. It should be work-wise optimum. It should be achievement-wise optimum. And on top of that, performance-wise, it should be on top. It should give performance for time as long as possible. And what we call that, our purpose is this for this product. This is intention of this product to be used like this, and for how long it can be used. Purpose should remain same. We should not change purpose during lifetime of that project, of whatever product it is. And that is what say quality constancy, constant quality. Quality and quantity must move together. Quality and quantity must move together. These are not different entities, but we say so because we have to explain. Otherwise, when I say quantity, quality must be within it. We have to say it separately because there is a problem. There exists some problem that people ignore quality to whatever extent. That should not be ignored, but it is ignored, that is fact. And that is only a reason that we find products of different classes without having performance guarantee. I mean, not maintenance guarantee. Guarantee doesn't mean that because you have bought this product, I shall repair it for you. That's not my outlook. Repair or bring it back to service, that is not warranty. It's fault of your product that you have to come again and again for repairing it. If I buy a product and I have to call that service provider all time, come on, repair it, it has gone off on work order, it's gone off order, working order. And if I call frequently, what does it mean? You say, okay, they are doing its warranty. Why warranty? When you have delivered some product, it should work on its own. In rare cases, there should be question of repair. But these days, it doesn't happen like this. ऐसा नहीं होता है. आप कोई भी सामान खरीदें बाजार से, किसी भी वस्तु को खरीदें, उसमें वो काम तो करना चाहिए उस समय के लिए जिसके लिए वो बना है. कभी कभी हो गया, खराबी हो गई, लेकिन अगर ये रूटीन बन जाए तो आप क्या कहेंगे? क्या गुणवत्ता है उसमें? यही बात है, यही बात है. इंजीनियरिंग में इट इज़ इंजीनियरिंग. इंजीनियरिंग हमारी ज़िंदगी का हिस्सा है. इंजीनियरिंग इज ए पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, आवर लाइफ. इट्स नॉट ओनली in this country, it's everywhere like that. I'm talking of my country, that is Bharat, India, quality in Bharat, India. And my question is, where does quality exist? And it is not a general question, it is character question. It's a question that must be characterized and given value, because without character, no personality can exist and no personality can be reflected. Character identifies a person. Same way, character of some product identifies its value. It can be engineering construction, engineering production, engineering contracts, or whatsoever. If we don't find quality, what do we find? We find useless product. We say, we bought it, but it doesn't work as it was expected of. Maybe we do not care for that because it's not that big item, maybe few hundreds or thousands rupees or dollars. But we have to say, okay, this time I bought it, next time I shall not buy it. Next time I go to some other product, some other manufacturer and buy that and try that, and I try that one. Well, I find no difference between that product and this product. So I can say this is market. It happens. Well, that phrase won't work in quality. It happens. Some people say, if you ask them, हो जाता है, it happens sometimes. They say like this, it happens. What does happen mean? See, I don't care because it's not very expensive, or I paid what was demanded. But my payment doesn't mean that there should be that defect on quality. I don't accept any defect, but manufacturer thought because this price is reasonable and what I give, that's okay. But I am cheated that way. I was not explained that it shall spoil. Warranty is given, and warranty is no security for product. Product should work, but it doesn't work. And in 95% cases, I find this problem. And now it doesn't matter which manufacturer is that, national manufacturer or international manufacturer, national company or international company. I think all are same. They are traveling same boat, sailing same boat. There's no difference at all. And that's why I know this is job of manufacturer, this is job of involved engineers, that they should seriously deliver quality. It's their job. But I don't know reason behind why it's not happening, despite we have large pool of engineers everywhere. Very highly qualified engineers, research engineers we have, doctorate engineers we have, master's engineers we have, experienced engineers we have. I don't think there is any dearth of engineers in this country. But still, why quality does not come in, does not go to market? What's the problem? That problem requires a lot of research. I don't think they save money. I don't think so. If you don't give good quality and you think you'll save money, this is misconception. I don't agree with that. How can you save money if quality is bad? Material you have used, components you have used, but even then, either research is wrong, your formula is wrong, or your application is wrong, or people or workers or engineers who produce that, they are not up to mark, or something is copied and pasted, copy and paste it, that's it. I don't think there is a reasonable answer to that. Where is quality? Where does it exist? I question. And I don't find any seriousness among professionals at all. I'm not talking of medical science, I'm not talking of other sciences, I'm talking of engineering. Particularly those engineering groups, those engineering branches from which products appear in market, are sold in market, manufacturing, or from industries, or from construction. Of course, construction products are not freely available. These are permanently available. These are without mobility. All other products are having mobility. Are mobile, you can say electronics products, or mechanical products, or whatever else, machines, electrical, operated machines, other machines. Major portion of products come from mechanical and electrical world and electronics world, which we use in our homes or elsewhere. But products which come from construction world do not remain in your home, and you cannot personally use them. These are permanent products forever, and therefore I classify this into two categories. Particularly products. One is that which you can have mobility. You can bring it somewhere, you can use it somewhere, you can shift it somewhere. That is machines, whatever sort of machine. It can be well designed, it can be well produced, and still it doesn't function well. It may be car, it may be excavator, or it may be heavy machines, or even flights, aeroplane, aircraft, or trains. And there's another product which is essentially forever for you, and you cannot shift it as you wish, and that is constructed products, buildings, structures, whatever you can say. This is a difference of two. And first class one, that I said, non-constructed products, which are products of machines, etc. Those never stay with us for decades, maybe a couple of years. Scooters, bikes, cars, trucks, or machines, or plants, whatever it is, or electrical equipment, electronic equipment. Life of electronic equipment is very little. Same way, machines never cross more than a few years, and likewise you can say even major plants, major facilities plant, they work only for, let us say, 15, 20, 30 years maximum. But when we consider construction projects, construction deliveries, these works for coming many decades. I don't know why we are not serious about this. Money is one part. You can afford money on bad also, or good as well. But question is, if we want to come up to level of quality, we have a way to sell ourselves in world market or international market. If our products are not to that mark, how can we expose ourselves? How can we present ourselves to world level market economy? Our materials are not accepted because of no quality or substandard quality. Why do we import from others? Because we don't have confidence in our products. But I don't think that if you buy international products, You shall have satisfaction because now national or international have got no variations. Of course, there can be little variation, but nothing is perfect, it seems. Because I have experienced many products, electronic products, like you can say computers, mobiles, mobile accessories, machines, or home units whatsoever. I have seen that it may be France product or it may be China product, it may be our product. There is no much difference. There is no much difference. And one excellence is that packing is very good, delivery packing is very good, and decoration is excellent. You like product not because of performance. When you get it, oh, what beauty it is. Presentation on internet is excellent. They give you all views and define it that this is unequal, this is better than that, and this is better than that. In fact, all products are rubbish, to be very frank. Rubbish in a way. It's sometimes very difficult to find which one you have to buy because there is no surety on that. It's a very important point, and it is engineers' problem in fact. I hold all responsible engineers to be responsible for this. When I'm saying responsible engineers means accountable engineers. I'm not talking of those who are young or really fresh. They have to learn for a couple of years, and without learning, they cannot be entitled professional engineers. And you cannot simply say a person has having degree, he has this degree or that degree of engineering, and I can call him engineer. Yes, from legal point of view, from you can say his designation viewpoint, you can call that person engineer. But work doesn't accept that engineer. Work is major regulator, you can say. Work is major regulator to define someone, whether it is engineer or it is doctor or it is others. And if you don't find capability, and capability comes from work, capability starts with academics, capability starts from your degrees, but it doesn't stop here. A constant attitude is required which you don't find in it. That constant attitude is very important one. That constant attitude is very important, and we don't find that here. You see, problem is that in our society we are ready to accept every item. We are ready to accept everything. It may be good, it may be bad. We are expert in accepting everything. That's why I say quality in Bharat India. Where does quality exist? भारत इंडिया में गुणवत्ता किधर है? Where does it exist? In India, where does quality exist? Where does it sit? There is no seriousness among engineers about quality will or will of quality. I do not know reason about that, and it is very difficult to see रियल क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट्स इन मार्केट। भारत इंडिया में गुणवत्ता किधर है, गुणवत्ता कहाँ बैठती है? अभियंता वर्ग में कोई भी गंभीरता देखने को नहीं मिली कि गुणवत्ता को कैसे प्राप्त किया जाए, जिसका कारण मुझे नहीं पता, कारण मुझको पता नहीं। बाजार में कोई भी पदार्थ गुणवत्ता द्वारा बनाया गया नहीं दिखाई देता और कोई जिद भी नहीं है लोगों में कि हम सामान अच्छा खरीदेंगे क्वालिटी का, या इंजीनियर्स में कोई भी ऐसी जिद नहीं है कि हम बिना क्वालिटी सामान नहीं बनाएंगे। शायद वो सब सेल्समैन बन चुके हैं, सेल्स वर्कर्स बन चुके हैं। आई थिंक ऑल प्रोफेशनल्स इन मार्केट इंक्लूडिंग इंजीनियर्स have become sales leaders rather than production leaders. Question of expansion of sale is more important than question of extending quality to people through products. Target is more important, that I have to give this target. Our company says we have to produce, we have to achieve this financial target in this period, we have to achieve this and that, we have to achieve this, otherwise we cannot survive. I mean to say survival has become dominant factor rather than providing service to people. There is no problem, they can reduce staff, of course it is their right, they can change design, composition can be changed, and financially one should be strong, they say. If company is not financially strong, I think there is no reason of that company more interested in survival of business. And I think this is management principle, real management. Don't worry about quality, because in management you can say what we call presently management, which comes through whatever degree. That management has no basics of mathematics, that management has no basics of scientific principles or sciences, that management does not understand what does engineering mean. They are only interested in show, they are only interested in decoration, or we can say cosmetic service, not structural service. When I say cosmetic service, this is something very different. Cosmetic means lipstick, powder, of course you can say, we can say twinkling a little star, but that is of no use, because star we can see, we can't use, we can't reach. At location of star, same thing is management. We'll show a lot data, this and that, but when goods are concerned, products are concerned, I don't find any reliability. Reliability, most important point. We can't run away from that, which means we trust that product, that's why we reuse it. And if we don't trust that product, we can't use it. It is not easy, as well as it's not difficult. It is engineer to do something and not management. Quality cannot be achieved through management by non-engineers, or it cannot be achieved through administration. Quality is required to be achieved through hard technical work, dedication of technicalities, and understanding of technical issues and engineering issues, or no pressure from non-engineering persons. If you keep all-time profit in mind, all-time business margin in mind, I don't think it can move. Yes, once you are constant, once you state constancy in your attitude of the quality, this is our quality, we claim this only, and you keep attitude towards that, in long term promotion comes in. But people want to get short-term profit, and that's where you can see companies are closed down, companies are liquidated, insolvent because of many reasons. Keeping only money factor in mind cannot solve issue. Money factor is extremely important, but quality is outstandingly important. There should not, oh, it's outstanding one. I don't say. Nobody can say my product is excellent and outstanding both. That's the point here. There was a time when we used to think products from USA are excellent, products from Germany are excellent, products from France are excellent. I mean to say, we didn't know what are those products, but we used to say, oh, this product comes from overseas, it's imported one, it must be excellent. Must be excellent. But would it be excellent? That can be known only through experience or use of product. Otherwise, we do not know. And about ourselves, we in beginning itself condemn. It is natural. But now that time has gone. We know everything. What is USA, what is England, what is Gulf, what is ourselves, what is China, what is Europe. I don't think any specific standard exists anywhere. Nothing is standard, all same, little variation only. I use products from generally all world level countries, and I don't think something is very different. Our education system is applicable to most parts of life, major portion of life. Our educated engineers, doctors, professionals are well defined. They can do. But if restriction, access, constraint comes into on your way, how can you work? They're not free hand. Nobody can say that they are not interested. Sorry. They want to work hard. They want to be progressive. But because they are on same track on which others lead, financial may not be in their control, decisions may not be in their control. Decisions, I mean to say, major decisions, policy decisions, which is overruled by management or by administrators, and that can cause a problem. But whatever system be, engineer is responsible for quality. This fact cannot be denied. If we deny this fact, we deny truth. Reason being, engineering is only profession that is based on proven facts, that is based on known facts, tried facts, truth, not imagination. Only profession where X-rays are not used but X-rays are created. I mean to say, I'm just giving a reference. In medical world, we have tested many patients, many persons for all issues using various devices. X-ray is one of them. But in engineering, we have to create X-rays through drawings. I can say my X-rays are my design, my drawings. This means our hypothecation, our imagination, picture in mind that generates, comes onto pages, comes onto paper or the computer screen based on imagination. But it is imagination up to that time at which it downs to paper. But when it is created, we work on that. Means we have to create what this work should be, what this structure should be, what this item should be. So we have started X-rays. Then we start construction based on these X-rays through various processes. So may I say, it is real world until it comes on paper. No, it is imaginary world. That imagination which comes into mind, that is not fact. That is a scene. But once it comes to paper, it comes to form of a drawing, maybe it is very initial drawing, scratch drawing, but it goes to physical entity status. This means physical entity is a reality, that is truth, which we see later on completely developed. One cannot deny this fact. Whatever part of engineering, whatever product of engineering, that is factual, that is truth. And if truth is not well quality, is not well qualitized, quality means qualification, we can get bad product. And whose responsibility it is? It is responsibility from designs to execution, personnel, whoever they are involved. We call engineer, and what is meaning of engineer? Engineer means intellectual working, intellectual practical working. Use mind for every work. No poetry, no stories, no novels, no spying, real following. We cannot change materials. We cannot change humans. We can train material, we can produce material, we can refine material, we can train personnel, and this is done. But is that constant? That point must be considered. Quality definition cannot be defined in one line, because quality, first we have to define what we have to do, or how we want to use this product. How do we want to use this work? Results that we are going to have. Economy comes later on. If our products are long journey, long durable, certainly this shall be required by all. Our economy depends on work sold, how much we sell and how much we buy. How much we sell and how much we buy, and that is basic principles of economy. If our products are purchased by foreigners, by overseas countries, we get money from them. Same way we get money from here. But if our products are not preferred by others, and we have to use only for ourselves, in that case we can't move. We have to pay for their products because we consider their products superior to our products. Here's where we fail. But engineering is that world where it is international, formula are international, theories are international, and experience and work nature is international. And if we can't maintain that international status, and we downgrade ourselves through codes, or through saying, oh, this is our country, it can't be that level. Well, our conception, you can say, is erroneous in that case. It's full of errors. And I'm not saying that we can't do better than others do. We have full capacity to do better work, but it depends on our determination. It depends on our thoughts, our commitments. We can do everything better than others, but we do not concentrate on that. We do not think on that because of many shortcuts. Many shortcuts. Those engineers who are qualified from such institutions where quality doesn't mean anything, those engineers can't be called engineers. They may be from whatever institutions. If they cannot do practical work, if cannot involve themselves in production, in construction, they do not know what is engineering. Really. It may look bad to someone, but it is a fact. One should experience reality of life, facts of life. Whole engineering process is valid only or is sustainable only when our results, our products are reliable, are safe, you can say servable, and long journey travelers, durable. Only then we can say it is fine. गुणवत्ता प्रमाण पत्र असलियत पर निर्भर है. I'm not very much interested in certification of quality. We have this certification from this agency that complies with quality system. That is a requirement, but it is not end of engineering. If I cannot deliver intended good projects, I am unable to deliver that. I only claim I have delivered it, but performance doesn't tell that, doesn't endorse it. That means my product fails. There is no worry, there is no accountability, there is no responsibility. Then who can be held responsible for that product? Again I say, it is the engineer who is responsible for every act, for every result. Maybe not directly responsible financially, but responsibility, morality, and involvement direct point out finger towards all these requirements. And this is very big issue because it's very difficult to find quality results, very difficult to find quality products. When I walk here and there and I see construction, I see other products, I see no safety involvement, no quality involvement. Really, I feel it. There is no one to look after all these. No one. How shall we? What has happened to us? A quality, ancient country, how is been brought to this worst status, I can say. After all, it is ourselves who are responsible. We can't hold others to be responsible for that. And that's where we should feel it, we should understand it. And ultimately, I would say engineers have to change themselves. I sometimes feel very angry. I think I am angry many times, but I cannot do anything. It's whole nation and engineers have to think. Just conducting seminars, webinars, congresses won't work. These are instant. Just showing your research results won't work. If this can be implemented and adopted by everybody, your journals won't work and your speeches won't work if this can't be transformed to reality. I don't care for certification now because certification is not final answer. It should be product should speak. Previously we used to say, okay, this certification doesn't guarantee product quality. It doesn't guarantee. Okay, I agree with that. But why doesn't guarantee? Question is that. Why cannot it guarantee quality? You can say this is not in our control, that's beyond our control. What is your control then? What's the purpose of quality certification? Just a certified system, and system involves human resources, material resources, and many other resources. So this certification for what? Is it futile certification or only is symbolic? If it's symbolic, then I don't think it gives something. It should be real one. It happens. I remember once I was involved in quality audit in Abu Dhabi in some site, and there was very bad accommodation for workers, I asked that quality auditor, what does it mean? You don't care about this, you're just asking this, show me this and show me that. Do you raise questions about these workers, how they are going to live? What's their standard? What did it say? Oh no, for us, how they are living is also quality. I got my point. Their, you can say, detrimental condition, unhealthy condition, living, etc., food, etc. It's same. We accept all this. Oh my God, I was too upset because a palace or a hotel is a accommodation for him, as well as this bad word, this bad accommodation. Means he didn't mind that. Okay, it's proposal. He accepted that this workers, and that's fine. I then say this is futile. This is fake. This is only a formality. Means of course quality system is a must, but it should be a strong one. It should be acceptable one. And when system does not give any guarantee, it doesn't say you'll get something like this. Now what's the purpose of that? So there have been many changes. I know quality system, that is ISO 9001 2015, is little different. I mean, assurance is dimmed. Assurance has been dimmed, and that's good. Means just assurance is not enough. Assurance cannot be final answer. It should be requirement, and it is. When you replace assurance by requirement, it becomes a kind of mandate. That means you, of course, you are owner. You are your own policy maker. You have to define your proposals. You have to define what you want to achieve. And in that case, you have to produce a system. You have to chart out a system design or system organization. You may not call it management, you may call it organization rather, because management is offensive. It should be organic, it should be organs. And when you mandate it, that means it becomes implementable, it becomes enforceable. It can bring something to better than previous one. Means it is required. It's required means you have to do it. Rather than assurance, I don't need assurance, I want product quality. Get me. Why should I spend money on your product if it doesn't work? To my will, or what you define, it should work. That's point here, and it applies to all. This means we have to make changes in attitude of workers, in attitude of professionals, because just leniency won't work. Just ordinary way won't work. Compliance, adherence, strict standing on requirements, on activities, on controls only would work. And that's way we can say, I don't believe in your assurance, your promises. I pay you so that you give me this. And that is a tough statement. Quality system means if it works, it's fine. And if it doesn't work, I don't accept that system. And that's where engineering has to give. When I talk of engineering, this means reality. Again I say, engineering is reality. It's no poetry, it's no novel. It is reality of world. And because engineering is our life requirements are fulfilled by world of engineering. Therefore, we have to be very different on this. If we cannot think of quality and do it, then means we are not determined people. We are not committed people. We believe in flexibility only and absolute flexibility. Quality requirement means tough, hard hand and determined way to do job even if you are tired. Like safety, health, and environment, quality is on top of that. We cannot play with people, same way we cannot play with materials, we cannot play with anything. Sorry, I'm not wasting your time. It is not material alone, it's not your engineering domain alone. Quality lies everywhere in life. It lies in your conduct, it lies in your behavior, it lies everywhere. And that I say, we have to think about quality in all ways. We have to think about communication and coordination, which are foundation stones of, like foundation stones of quality. If communication is defective, it is erroneous, it is incomplete, then you can say coordination becomes as such. Communication to yourself and communication to others, communication to your analytical mind, because whatever you have learned, that is somewhere zoomed in, jibbed in mind, and that jib should be resolved when required. It should be retrieved, that record should be retrieved, and it is retrieved only when you are sharp in memory, or your memory or your communication that is inside, those communication come out, or you interact with others, other disciplines, other professionals, or whosoever they are, that is through communication. And when you deal with many communications, many parameters, many techniques, many requirements, you have to talk to them, you have to think about them together to get final result, final requirement. And this process, you can say, interactive process, intertechnical process, interstructural process, or inter-requirement process, all combined together in string, can be termed process of coordination. Every requirement should come at one place of doing simultaneously, so that your result is as expected. You may say communication and coordination are very important, permanent and continuous tools during your work, and even if it's silence, it continues. Communication and coordination continues, and communication and coordinations are intellectual words, you can say. Coordination depends on requirements analysis, requirement synthesis, and coordination cannot be taken for granted. Don't think that just correspondence is communication or correspondence is coordination. It's not correspondence but technical work. It is requirements, it is. And even communication is not ordinary, it depends on technicalities. So we have to be very smart when we are engineers. It's not ordinary world. Communication very important, coordination very important. If you want to provide information to those workers who are in front line and they are short of communication, they are not given complete details, for sure they shall cause mistakes. Even if it is automatic work, if your data is not fulfilled properly, is not entered properly, or is not well programmed, you shall find errors in that activity also. That automatism also would be difficult. I don't want to take more time on this every day, but what happens I don't know. I go on thinking and thinking and thinking while talking to you, and something comes to my mind and I include my talk. Don't go to what's written here, it's only indicative. But mind keeps on thinking about, and it has to give something every day. And I'm lucky to get that automatically. I don't know how, but it happens. And that's factor, and that's why I say without quality, everything is futile, all work is useless. गुणवत्ता बिना सब कर बेकार. There is no good result without achieving quality. Contracts and specifications technically are same. I was talking about concrete, which is very important material in construction world, in engineering, and we have applications, and we talked this all. I'm just trying to browse it to reach that page. We left last time. I think hot weather concreting we're talking of, and we reached somewhere. Mixed design temperature controls with it, and addition of highs, liquid nitrogen, batching and mixing, transportation, placing and finishing. You can say curing and protection. So let's start again from there. I can say let's start from this page so that we can refresh also. And we did planning of concrete, of course we did. We fixed time with 10 hours and 17 hours, we remember that. Then mixed design, we did temperature controls, so water, cement, and we can say liquid nitrogen, we did batching and mixing. Like we can start from here, I think. Batching and mixing we did. Transportation, curing of production, curing liquid nitrogen. Let us start from here. Freshly mixed concrete. Freshly mixed concrete. Freshly mixed concrete may be cooled by injection of liquid nitrogen. That is, freshly mixed concrete cooled, may be cooled by injection of liquid nitrogen. Care shall be taken. Care shall be taken to ensure that concrete directly adjacent injection nozzle is not frozen. Use of liquid nitrogen for cooling concrete include a nitrogen supply vessel, an injection facility for batching plant, or one or more injection station for truck mixers. System may be set at site for injection just before placing. Proper safety precautions as advised by supplier of liquid nitrogen shall be used. Shall be painted white to minimize solar heat gain. Where a truck mixer has been left standing in sun, empty drum shall be sprayed with water and drum flushed out with cold water before batching. Care must be taken to ensure all water is removed from drum before batching. Temperature of concrete shall be checked after discharge from mixer and written on delivery ticket. Temperature check shall be conducted or carried out at plant on concrete floor for every 50 meter cube produced or every hour whichever is minimum. A water reducing self, a water reducing set retarding chemical admixture, water reducing and minded, water reducing set retarding chemical admixture, admixture conforming to requirements of BSEN 480 parts 1, 2 and 4 may be used in varying proportions. Transportation, placing, compaction and finishing of concrete shall be at fastest possible rate. Fastest, that is transportation, placing, compaction and finishing. Delivery of concrete to site shall be properly scheduled to match rate of placement and compaction. Placing and finishing. If temperature of first truck of concrete of a particle pour is above specification, maximum temperature progress and temperature of particular truck exceeds the maximum permitted temperature, placing may be allowed to continue at the discretion of engineer in order to avoid possible development of cold joint. Very important point. If pour is in progress, if pour is in progress and temperature of particular truck exceeds maximum permitted temperature, placing may be allowed to continue at the discretion of engineer in order to avoid possible development of cold joint. I think it's clear, right? However, no further concreting pours shall affect until constructor has submitted revised calculations in accordance with ACI 305R clause 3.1 to demonstrate that maximum temperature shall not be exceeded in future. Before beginning new pours, temperature of concrete, constituent materials shall be monitored to verify that they meet assumptions of calculation. Curing and protection shall conform to requirements of part 10 of this section. We will see that later on. Again, problems of video and audio signals. Evaporation shall be minimized. That's problem every time. Evaporation shall be minimized, particularly during first few hours. Evaporation shall be minimized, particularly during first few hours subsequent to placing concrete by suitable means such as applying moisture by fog spraying or some other means acceptable to engineers. Inspections and testing. All thermometers used for measurement of concrete temperature shall be calibrated weekly against a glass mercury thermometer. All thermometers used for measurement of concrete temperature shall be calibrated weekly against a glass mercury thermometer. Calibration shall be carried out over temperature range of 10 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. Calibration shall be carried out over temperature range of 10 to 100 degrees Celsius using a water bath with ice or heating. Method used to determine acceptance of temperature controlled concrete should be according to requirement of ASTM C1064. Method used to determine acceptance of temperature controlled concrete should be as such. All concrete tests, specimens for strength or other purposes shall be carefully protected for strength or other purposes shall be carefully protected and cured. Specimens shall be protected from accidental damage by plant personnel or equipment on site. Specimen shall be kept moist by addition of water or covering by suitable curing materials. Exact time of preparation of specimen on site shall be noted and time when it is transferred to laboratory. This time shall be written on test report. Refresh our, this was hot weather concreting, and before that it is something else, and that was hot weather concreting as well. We can say in this we have said, what is that? Protective treatment of concrete. Protective treatment of concrete we did, and also we did that. This is protective treatment of concrete. Concrete is there, obstruction is there, and here is, of course, we can say it is here protective treatment of concrete that we did. Epoxy coating, surface etc., and waterproofing membrane. Then we did penetrative primer, and of course protective coating again, and we said that plastic sheet liner for concrete structures. In this we did plastic sheet liners, and we of course did. Then we hot weather concreting we did. It is scope, and of course hot weather condition where temperature range of 32 and 35 depending on shade temperature we understood, and about ambient temperatures in shade above 40 on rising thermometer and 43 degrees on falling, and what is high temperature and what are system descriptions we did. And of course placing temperature, try to understand, and how to plan concrete, how to do mixed design, temperature controls, batching and mixing, transportation, plating and finishing, curing and protection, inspection and testing as we did. We go to miscellaneous, concrete miscellaneous now. Concrete miscellaneous. It is, in this case we can say its general is the scope, and references pavement quality concrete, what is scope, mixed design, cement, water, all we do, and we can say that mixed design, cement, water, aggregate mixture. This pavement quality quantity we are talking. This is scope, mixed design, cement, water, aggregate mixture, admixture, air content density, and cement is ground is general material workmanship. And this creates a scope channel and cellular concrete, repair of concrete, general honeycombing or spalling, crack injection, polished resin concrete, PRC, polished resin concrete, piping systems for non-pressure drainage and sewerage, general resin minimum strength. So we can say what is miscellaneous in this. It says that this part deals with miscellaneous items related to concrete works, including pavement, quality concrete, no fines concrete, lightweight concrete, cementitious grout, screeds, repair of concrete, and graniting. So there are so many items involved in this. Pavement quality concrete, what is that? Pavement quality, no fines concrete, lightweight concrete, cementitious grout, screeds, repair of concrete, and graniting. And you can say in this case we have here part 2 aggregate in this specification, part 3 cementitious material, part 4 water, part 5 mixture, part 6 property requirements, part 7 concrete plants, part 8 transportation and placing of concrete, and part 9 formwork, part 10 curing, and part 15 hot weather concreting. We have gone through all this from part 2 to part 15 in this chapter, in this specifications. And we are going to references in this guide to shotcrete, standard specification for slag cement for use in concrete and mortars, Portland blast furnace cement, testing aggregate. Of course, I am not reading base references, you can read yourself, it's already there. Portland blast furnace cement, testing aggregates, testing concrete, methods of testing plastics, pulverized fuel ash, methods of testing mortars, screeds and plasters, concrete admixtures, testing of resin and polymer, cement compositions for use in construction, specifications for pozzolanic pulverized fuel ash cement, code of practice for installation of resilient floor coverings, concrete cement composition specifications and conformity criteria for common cements, admixtures for concrete, mortar and grouts, test methods, part 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, admixtures for concrete, mortar and grout, part 2 and 6, specifications for mortar. Testing fresh concrete, flexure, strength of test specimen, aggregate for concrete, cement composition, specifications and conformity criteria for low early strength blast furnace cements, cement compositions, specifications and conformity criteria for low early strength blast furnace cements, cement composition, specifications and conformity criteria for low early strength blast furnace cements, testing fresh concrete, tests for chemical properties of aggregates, chemical analysis, concrete specification, performance, production and conformity, specification for highway works, quality concrete. What is the scope here? It covers mixed design of concrete used for aircraft aprons and roadworks as surface slabs, continuously reinforced concrete road base, continuously reinforced concrete road base, and wet lean mix except cement bound granular material used as road base or sub base or as a backfill material for excavation. I repeat, this part covers mixed design for concrete used for aircraft aprons and road works as surface slabs, continuously reinforced concrete road base, reinforced concrete, road base, and wet lean mix, except cement base granular material used as road base or sub base or as a backfill material for excavations. Mixed designs, concrete in rigid or composite pavements shall be one of grades given in this table C and in accordance with pavement design shown on drawings or is directed by engineer. Concrete for use in pavements shall be designed mixes or equivalent standard mixes in accordance with relevant clauses of BS 8500 or GSO EN 2061, except where otherwise. Rapid construction with approval of engineer, and here are pavement grades. Surface slab, this is pavement layer, surface slab, and according to BS 8500 and GSO EN 2061 designated design mix, then BSI 8500 and GSO EN 2061 standard mix. Now let's see what is surface slab. This layer is C40, that is C40, and jointed reinforced concrete. I'm sorry, surface slab is about surface slab, and it says unreinforced concrete C40. This is only for surface slab, and unreinforced concrete is C40. Jointed reinforced concrete C40. Continuously reinforced concrete pavement CRCP. Continuous reinforced concrete pavement C40. Continuously reinforced concrete base C40, and ground anchorage beam C40. Same way we can say. There is then wet lean mix concrete 4, it is C20, or other one is the standard mix is ST4. In wet lean mix concrete 3, it is C15 ST3, and wet lean mix concrete 2 C10 ST2, and wet mix concrete 1 C75 7.5 ST1. So we can say we start down from 1 C7.5 it is, and it goes to mixed concrete 2 C10 it is, and then 3 is 15 and 4 is 20. You can say something likewise. These are different grades for pavement. 4 standards for pavement here, and we can say, as we said, there's nothing in that. C40 all up to ground anchorage beam, the unreinforced concrete, jointed reinforced concrete, continuous reinforced concrete pavement, continuous reinforced concrete road base, ground anchorage beam, and pavement layer, wet lean mixed concrete, 4th one, C20 to 7.5. Now what is cement in general? Term cement, general term cement in this part means materials shown below. Cement composition specifications and conformity criteria for common cements. EN 197-1 Portland blast furnace cement BS 146 or EN 197-4 specification for pozzolanic pulverized fuel ash cement. Pozzolanic pulverized fuel or cement grades C20 or below BS 6610. Use of a combination of Portland cement and ground granulated blast furnace slag is permitted is permitted use of combination of Portland cement and ground granulated blast furnace slag is permitted subject to approval of engineer. In such cases, engineer stipulates minimum combined cementitious material content required for mix. Use of combination of Portland cement and pulverized fuel ash PFA is permitted subject to approval by engineer. In such cases, engineer stipulates minimum combined cementitious material content of Portland cement and pulverized fuel ash is permitted subject to approval of engineer. In such case, engineer shall stipulate minimum combined cementitious material content required for mix. PFA shall be in accordance with BS 3892. Use of microsilica in mixed designs permitted if approved by engineer. Engineer shall stipulate minimum combined cementitious material content required for mix where PFA or GGBFS are used. Maximum proportion of ground granulated blast furnace slag with Portland cement shall be per table given 6.6 of part 5.6. In combination with Portland cement, proportion of PFA by mass to total cement shall be according to this table 6.6. Limit of chloride content of concrete shall be per the table. Minimum cement content for concrete pavements shall be pre-approved by Qatar standards or local standards of our country. Water for use in making and curing of concrete shall conform to requirements of Part 4. Water content shall be minimum required to provide agreed workability for full compaction of concrete to required density as determined by trial mixes or other means approved by engineer. Aggregates. Requirements of part 2 of this specification except as mentioned below. Aggregates for all pavement concrete shall be complying with BS 12620. Alternatively, coarse aggregate of recycled and secondary aggregate materials may be used to replace up to 50% by mass of coarse aggregate. Nominal size of coarse aggregate shall not exceed 40 mm. Nominal size of coarse aggregate shall not exceed 40 mm when spacing between longitudinal reinforcement is less than 90 mm. Nominal size of coarse aggregate shall not exceed 40 mm when spacing between longitudinal reinforcement is less than 90 mm. Nominal size of coarse aggregate shall not exceed 20 mm. If requested by engineer, contractor shall carry out tests on proposed aggregate combination to check for possibility of alkali silica reaction. Such tests shall be carried out in accordance with procedure laid down in part 2. Plasticizers or water reducing admixtures shall comply with BS 5075, BSCN 480 and BSCN 934. Admixtures containing calcium chloride shall not be used. Plasticizers or water reducing mixtures shall comply with BS 5075, BS EN 480 and BS EN 934. Admixture containing calcium chloride shall not be used. Other chloride free admixtures may be used with engineer's approval. Air content. Total quality of air in air entrained concrete. Total quality of air in air entrained concrete is a percentage of volume of mix. Shall be 5 plus minus 1.5%. For mixes of nominal aggregate size 20 and be 4 plus minus 1.5% for mixes of nominal aggregate size 40. Air content shall be determined at point of delivery by a pressure type air meter in accordance with BN EN 12350/7 at rate of 1 determination per 300 meter square of slab, at least 6 times per day, whichever is greater, in conjunction with tests for workability and strength. For areas less than 300 square meters, rate shall be at least 1 determination to each 20 meter length of slab or less, constructed at one time or at least 3 times per day. If air content is outside specified limits, a further determination shall be made immediately on next available load of concrete before discharging. Outside limit, contractor shall immediately adjust air content of concrete to improve its uniformity before further concrete is used in works. Air entraining agent shall be added at mixer. Air entraining agent shall be added at mixer by an apparatus capable to dispense correct dose within tolerance of admixture given in EN 206-1, and so as to ensure uniform distribution of agent throughout batch during mixing. Density of concrete grades greater than C30 shall be such that without air entrainment, total air voids are not more than 3%. With air entrainment, total air voids shall be not more than 8% for 20 mm aggregate or 7% for 40 mm aggregate. Density of concrete grades greater than 30 C30 shall be such that without air entrainment, total air voids not more than 3%. With air entrainment, total air voids shall be not more than 8%. For 20 mm aggregate 7%, for 40 mm aggregate. Density of concrete grades B15 and B20 mix ST4 or below shall be at least 95% of theoretical maximum dry density. Density of concrete grade B15 or mix B20, mix ST4 or below shall at least 95% of theoretical maximum dry density. Cementitious grout subpath covers a general purpose non-shrink cementitious grout. Grout shall be used to where it is necessary to eliminate shrinkage when filling voids between a base plate and a substrata such as grouting of stanchial spaces. Encourage fixings including mass anchor bolts and fence posts. Grout shall be supplied by a reputable construction chemical company as a single pack pre-packaged cement based product which is chlorides free. For a particular application, contractor shall submit a method statement detailing how about formwork be placed and points where grout be poured. Beginning work on large repetitive works or activities or items, contractor shall arrange for a site trial of materials and methods with suppliers. Before beginning work, contractor shall arrange for site trials of materials and methods with supplier representative being present to train contractor's personnel in right use or correct use of material. Grout shall be suitable for filling gaps of thickness up to 100 mm. Grout shall be suitable for filling gaps of thickness up to 100 mm and be free flowing and non-shrink. Positive volumetric expansion shall affect while grout is plastic by means of gaseous expansion to avoid shrinkage and cracking. Compression, or you can say compressive strength of grout when tested in accordance with BSCN 12390-3 shall be minimum 25 MPa at 24 hours, 40 MPa 7 days, and 50 MPa at 28 days. I again say grout shall be suitable for filling gaps of thickness up to 100 mm and be free flowing and non-shrink type. Positive volumetric expansion shall affect while grout is plastic by means of gaseous expansion and to avoid can say grout shall be suitable for filling gaps thickness up to 100 mm and shall be free flowing and non-shrink. Positive volumetric expansion shall take effect while grout is plastic by means of gaseous expansion to avoid shrinkage and cracking. Shrinkage cracking. Compressive strength of grout test in accordance with BSEN 12390-3 shall be a minimum of 25 MPa at 24 hours, 40 MPa 7 days, and 50 MPa at 28 days. Grout shall exhibit a high early strength gain, yet not be subject to cracking or other detrimental effects. At ambient temperature, above 35 degrees Celsius, cool water shall be used for mixing grout before placing. At, at ambient temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius, cool water shall be used for mixing grout before placing. Workship, or you can say workforce ship is written workman, but I am taking it workship, workers ship, storage, handling and pouring of grout. Storage, handling and pouring of grout shall be in strict accordance with manufacturer's instructions. Substrate surface shall be free from all oil greases or loose or partially bonded material. Should be free from oil, grease and a loose or partially bonded material. If concrete surface is defective, has latencies, shall be cut back to sound base. If both holes and fixing pockets shall be blown clean of dirt and debris. Substrate shall be soaked with fresh potable water before grouting, although immediately before grouting, free water shall be removed and blown out of bolt holes or pockets. Grout shall not be placed in a gap of less than 25 mm for base plates larger than 1 meter wide. For larger base plates of low area, manufacturer instructions shall be followed. Base plates and metallic items. Base plates and metallic items shall be clean and free from oil, grease or scale. Vent holes shall be provided to allow release of air from isolated spots. Formwork shall be made leak proof by use of foam rubber strip or mastic sealant between constructive formwork and joints. Formwork shall extend above required pour height and if necessary shall be extended to allow a hydrostatic head to aid placement. Grout shall be mixed mechanically with a slow speed drill fitted with a high shear mixer. Quantity of water to be added to pre-weighed targets, pre-weighed bags. Quantity of water to be added to pre-weighed bags shall be grout shall be mixed mechanically with a slow speed drill fitted with high speed high shear mixer. High shear mixer. Quantity of water to be added to pre-weighed bags shall be enough at ground. Grout shall be mixed mechanically with a slow speed drill fitted with a high shear mixer. Quantity of water to be added to pre-weighed bags shall be enough to give desirable consistency. Okay, that's Quantity of water to be added to pre-weighed bags shall be enough to give desirable consistency as trawable or flowable. Mixing shall take place for a minimum 5 minutes. Grout shall be placed within time limit specified by manufacturer. Grout shall be poured. Grout shall be poured from one side and it will be verified. It will be verified that grout has flowed under all of this. Grout shall be poured from one side and verified that grout has flowed under all base plate with no voids. Pouring from several sides shall not be permitted. Grout shall be poured from one side and it shall be verified that the grout has flowed under all base plates with no voids. Pouring from several sides is not acceptable. Exposed area of grout shall be thoroughly cured in accordance with Part 10. Scratch. Scope is this part covers screeds that provide by means of a layer of mortar level surface in flooring applications and to provide falls on flat concrete roads. Screeds that provide by means of a layer of mortar a level surface in flooring applications and to provide falls on flat concrete roofs. General. Screeds shall be suitable for application onto concrete substrata. Screeds shall be suitable for application onto concrete substrata. Screeds shall be suitable for receiving surface finishes, which may range from thin flexible sheeting to ceramic tiling. Screed mortars shall generally comprise sand and cement modified by additives or substituted by other materials such as polymers in order. uh, Now we say 4 screeds of thickness greater than 40 mm. It is permissible to incorporate the proportion of 10 mm aggregate. Says screed mortar shall generally comprise sand and cement modified by additives or substituted by other materials such as polymers in order to provide specific performance requirements. For screeds of thickness greater than 40 mm, it is permissible to incorporate the proportion of 10 mm aggregate. Aggregate used for screeds shall not contain deleterious materials such as coal or iron particles, which may affect finished surface of screed. A mixture for mortar screeds shall assist workability or alter rates of settling and hardening and comply with approved path. Polymers based additives may be used to improve adhesion and strength of thin or featured screeds. This shall be based on polyvinyl acetate, styrene butadiene. This shall be based on polyvinyl acetate (PVA), styrene bitumen rubber (SPR), styrene bitumen rubber or acrylic product. Polymer based additives may be used to improve adhesion and strength of thin or featured screeds. This shall be based on polyvinyl acetate, PVA, styrene butadiene rubber, SPR, or acrylic polymers. Ready to use sand cement screeds shall comply with material requirements. Screeds with a rapid drying time to enable a rear floor finish to be applied shall be used strictly in accordance with manufacturer's instructions. See, I say is screed with rapid drying time to enable earlier floor finish to be applied shall be used strictly in accordance with manufacturer's instructions. Interface of screed in concrete substrata shall be specified in as one of following portions by engineers. Monolithic with concrete base Screed shall be applied within 3 hours of placing concrete base. Monolithic concrete base means a time of 3 hours placing concrete base. Bonded to concrete base. Screed shall be laid onto concrete base which is hard and is subsequently being prepared to receive screed. Minimum thickness of screed as it will I say monolithic with concrete base screed shall be applied within 3 hours of placing concrete base. Bonded to concrete base. Yes. You can say bonded to concrete base screed shall be laid onto concrete base which is hardened and is subsequently been prepared to receive screed. Minimum thickness of screed shall be 25 mm and thus and is means as in bonded to concrete base screed shall be laid onto concrete base which is hardened and is subsequently been prepared to receive screed. Now we can say as an unbonded screed, screed shall be laid on separating layer. So we can say bonded to concrete base, screed shall be laid onto concrete base which is hardened and is subsequently been prepared to receive screed. Minimum thickness of screed shall be 25 mm and maximum thickness 40 mm. As an unbonded screed shall be laid on a separating layer. As an unbonded screed shall be laid on a separating layer. As a floating screed shall be laid on an insulating material. Cement and sand screed. Cement and sand screed. Cement and sand screed. Mix shall have minimum amount of water. Cement and sand screed. Mix shall have minimum amount of water added to give sufficient workability and allow material to be thoroughly compacted. Pan type mixes. Pan type mixes shall be used to ensure efficient mixing of materials. Cement to aggregate ratio shall be between 1 to 3 or 1 to 4.5 by weight, and Pan type mixes shall be used to ensure efficient mixing of materials. Cement to aggregate ratio shall be between 1 to 3 and 1 to 4.5 by weight. That is 1 to 3, that is cement to aggregate shall be 1 to 3 to 1 to 4.5 by weight. Mixing of sand, cement, water and mixtures shall ensure a thorough homogeneous mix. We can say screed shall be laid between carefully leveled and through batons of or between strips of screed laid and compacted to finished level. So the mixing of sand, cement, water and mixture shall ensure thorough homogeneous mixture with no balling up to cement. Screed shall be laid either between carefully leveled and through batons or between strips of screed laid to screeds. For bonded screed, where a high degree of bond is required, surface lattice of concrete base shall be mechanically removed to expose coarse aggregate. A thin layer of neat cement grout shall be applied to pre-wetted or dampened concrete and screed applied and compacted while grout is wet. It says screed shall be laid either between carefully leveled and true batons or between strips of screed laid and compacted to fresh level. Screed shall be laid. Screed shall be laid between carefully leveled and true batons or between strips of screed laid and compacted to finished level. For bonded screed wire, where high degree of bond is required, surface lattice of concrete base shall be mechanically removed to expose coarse aggregate. A thin layer of neat cement grout shall be applied to pre-wet or dampened concrete and screed applied and compacted while grout is wet. So it says screed shall be laid either between carefully leveled and true batons or between strips of screed laid and compacted to finished level. For bonded screed where a high degree of bond is required, surface lattice of concrete base shall be mechanically removed to expose coarse aggregate. A thin layer of neat cement grout shall be applied to pre-wetted or dampened concrete and screed applied in compacted while grout is wet. Screed shall be fully compacted by heavy hand or mechanical damping. Screeded joints around perimeter shall be particularly well compacted to avoid breaking out and curing. Screed shall be fully compacted by heavy hand and mechanical damping. Screeded joints around perimeter shall be particularly well compacted to avoid breaking out, curing. Screed thicker than 50 mm shall be laid in two approximately equal layers. Screed shall be keyed. It shall be kept protected. Screed thicker than 50 mm shall be laid in two approximately equal layers. Screed shall be kept protected, or it shall say, we can say here, screed shall be fully compacted by heavy hand or mechanical tamping. The screed edge joints around perimeter shall be particularly well compacted to avoid breaking out and curing. Screed thicker than 50 mm shall be laid in two approximate equal layers. Screed shall be kept provided, kept protected at just like screed, you know, screed thicker than 50 mm shall be laid in two approximate layers. Equal layers, screed shall be kept protected by waterproof sheet for at least 7 days after laying. Sheet and non-ceramic tiling finishes shall only be applied after screed has cured and necessary strength achieved. If requested by engineer, contractor shall carry out a soundness and impact test in accordance with BS 8203. Sheet and non-ceramic tiling finishes shall only be applied after screed has cured and necessary strength achieved. Screed shall be laid in base of single base of size, minimize thermal and moisture contact. Now, Screeds shall be laid in base of size to minimize thermal moisture contents. Contraction. Say, screeds shall be laid in base of size to minimize thermal moisture. Engineer. Live. Screeds shall be laid at base of size to minimize thermal moisture contraction. Contraction of movement joints shall be provided as appropriate where shown on drawings or as directed by engineer. Base shall be laid approximately 15 meters square for 100 thick and 12 meters square for 75 thick. Now, base size shall be approximately 15 meters square, 100 thick, screened, and 12 That's why I'm not trying to speak. If not back, then recording is a problem. Still 00. That's why I'm waiting for signals and I wait also between when it happens. These are all. When we say cellular concrete is conventional concrete where natural aggregate, that is gravel, is exchanged for an insulation medium, namely air, embedded in an organic and biodegradable B form. Yeah. Cellular concrete is conventional one where natural aggregate, that is gravel, is exchanged for an insulation medium, namely air, embedded in an organic and biodegradable form. It behaves like conventional concrete, in particular concerning curing, hardened and most partial one. Yeah, yes. So we can say it says it behaves like conventional concrete, in particular concerning curing, hardened, hardening, and most important, aging. Cellular concrete infinitely increases its strength by hydration as long as exposed to humidity in atmosphere. CC offer more thermal insulation and is substantially higher fire rating than conventional concrete. Minimum compressive strength shall be 4 MPa. I repeat, cellular concrete is conventional concrete where natural aggregate, that is gravel, is exchanged for an insulation medium. Where natural aggregate is exchanged for an insulation medium, namely air, embedded in an organic and biodegradable form. It behaves like conventional concrete, in particular concerning curing, hardened, and most important, aging. CC infinitely increases its strength by hydration as long as exposed to humidity in atmosphere. So we can say cellular concrete is conventional one where natural aggregate gravel is exchanged for an insulation medium, namely air, embedded in an organic and biodegradable form. It behaves like conventional concrete, in particular concerning curing, hardened, and most important, aging. CC infinitely increases its strength by hydration as long as exposed to humidity in atmosphere. It offers more thermal insulation and is subsequently substantially higher fire rating than conventional concrete. Minimum compressive strength 4 MPa. Required density and strength of CC shall be specified on drawings and approved by engineers. Method of production of cellular concrete shall be shown on drawings or directed by engineers. Contractor shall submit full technical details of materials and methods of producing for cellular concrete along with a list of previous projects where particular system has been used. After source approval, After source approval of material and system, contractor shall submit a mix design contractor shall submit a mix design for cellular concrete for approval of engineer. After review and approval of theoretical mix design, contractor shall carry out a trial mix to check workability of fresh concrete and to allow samples to be made for compressive strength and density. After source approval of material and system, after source approval of material and system, contractor shall submit a mix design for cellular concrete for CLC for approval of engineer. After review and approvals of theoretical mix design, theoretical mix design, contractor shall carry out a trial mix to check workability of fresh concrete and to allow samples to be made for compressive strength and density. Engineer may also instruct that tests are carried out for abrasion resistance and thermal insulation properties. Cellular concrete shall not be used for structural reinforced members. Extent and nature of defects in concrete shall be established in accordance with part 15 of this section. Extent and nature of defect concrete shall be established in accordance with part 15 of this section. Based on these results, engineers shall confirm acceptability of work and whether remedial works are required. If remedial works are required, contractors shall submit a detailed method statement identifying specific materials to be used and sequence of activities for repair. Only proprietary proven materials that form parts of standard repair system shall be used. Honeycombing or spalling. So in general we said extent and nature of defects in concrete shall be established in accordance with this section 15. Based on these results, engineers shall confirm acceptability of work and whether remedial works are required. If remedial works are required, contractor shall submit a detailed method statements identifying specific materials to be used and sequences of activities for repair. Only proprietary proven materials that form part of standard repair system shall be used. Honeycombing or spalling. Where there's honeycombing or honeycombed concrete or concrete damaged by physical forces such as impact that has caused spalling. Concrete shall be replaced using a high strength free flowing cementitious microconcrete. There is honeycomb concrete or concrete damaged by physical force such as impact that has caused spalling. Concrete shall be replaced using a high strength free flowing cementitious microconcrete. Area of repair shall be marked out and all honeycombed, all honeycombed, all honeycombed, loose, cracked, or friable concrete in these areas shall be removed until sound concrete is reached. Due account shall be taken of propping or other instructions given by engineer regarding sequences of removal and repair. Equipment and methods used to break out concrete. Equipment and methods used to break out concrete shall be such that no reinforcing steel or other embedded items such as conduits, lifting sockets, or other inserts are loosened or damaged unless so directed by engineers. Where removal of concrete by mechanical means is difficult due to reinforcement congestion, use of high pressure water jetting shall be considered, and necessary provisions for protecting rest of structure shall be made. Prepared void shall be profiled so that entrapment of air is avoided during repair process. Using fluid microconcrete, prepared void shall be profiled so that entrapment of air is avoided during repair process using fluid microconcrete. Minimum depth of repair shall be 40 mm throughout. Perimeter of area to be repaired shall first be cut to depth of 10 mm. Using a suitable tool, feature edges shall not be accepted. Prepared concrete surface. Prepared concrete surface. And prepared concrete surface shall be sound clean and free of loose particles, dust and debris. Where exposed reinforcement is sound, It shall be mechanically cleaned of rust and loose mill scale. Where exposed reinforced pins sound, it shall be mechanically cleaned of rust and loose mill scale. Reinforcement damaged during removal of concrete. Reinforcement damaged during removal of concrete of or preparation process shall, if required by engineer, be repaired or replaced. Adequate formwork be provided in accordance with requirement. Part 9. This shall be securely fixed to withstand hydraulic pressure or for pressures of fluid, micro chloride, micro concrete, repair, material without distortion or movement during placement. Formwork shall be watertight. Formwork shall be watertight. At all joints between panels and implants. Or we can say formwork shall be constructed from formwork shall be watertight at all joints between panels and between formwork and existing concrete surface so as to prevent grout leakage. So we can say adequate formwork shall be provided which shall be securely fixed to withstand hydraulic pressure or fill with microconcrete, repair, material without distortion or movement during placement. Formwork shall be watertight at all joints between panels and between formwork and existing concrete surface so as to prevent grout leakage. Formwork shall be constructed from appropriate materials as agreed with engineers to achieve required finish. Formwork suitable surfaces are that are to be in contact with the revised material. Formwork shall be constructed from appropriate material. Formwork shall surface that are to be in contact with repair microconcrete shall be treated with suitable mold release agent. It shall be used in accordance with manufacturing. Entry point of feed pipe into form shall be at lowest point of void. Entry point of feed pipe into form shall be at lowest point of void. Sufficient hydrostatic head or pumping pressure shall be maintained to ensure that void is filled completely. Entry point of feed pipe into form shall be at lowest point of void. Sufficient hydrostatic head or pumping pressures shall be maintained to ensure that void is Where necessary, provision shall be made. Where necessary, provision shall be made for controllable bleed points to prevent air entrapment and enable extent of flow of repair material to be assessed. Formwork shall be inspected by engineer and if approved, filled with clean water which demonstrates that formwork is grout tight and saturates prepared concrete surfaces. Formwork shall then be completely dried and resealed. So when necessary, provision shall be made for controllable bleed points to prevent air entrapment. And also sufficient hydrostatic head or pumping pressure shall be maintained to ensure that void is filled completely and no air remains entrapped. In situations where completed repair will be subject to constant immersion, an epoxy bonded agent shall be applied in accordance with manufacturer's instructions. In situations where completed repair shall be subjected to constant immersion or immersion in an epoxy bonding agent shall be applied in accordance with manufacturer's instructions. Both compressive strength and flexural strength shall be at water powder ratio. Water powder ratio 0.18 and listed and tested at 20 degrees Celsius. Thermal conductivity and elastic modulus of repair material shall be compatible with host concrete. Thermal conductivity and elastic modulus of repair materials shall be compatible with host concrete. If requested by engineer, recent test results of material for following properties shall be submitted: thermal conductivity, elastic modulus BS 1881, expansion characteristics ASTM C827 CRD 62182A, flow characteristics UK DOT BO BD 2786 paragraph 46. Microconcrete shall be mixed and placed in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations, particularly with regard to water content, mixing equipment microconcrete shall be mixed and placed in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations, particularly with regard to water content, mixing equipment and placing time. As far as possible, microconcrete shall be mixed and placed in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations, particularly with regard to water content, mixing equipment and placing time. As far as possible, placing of microconcrete shall be continuous. Mixing operation shall be timed so that there is minimal interruption in material flow. If, however, placing is interrupted, operations shall recommence as soon as possible while repair material retains its flow characteristics. Formwork shall not be removed until repair microconcrete has achieved a compressive strength of at least 10 MPa or as directed by engineers. Immediately after removal of formwork, repair area shall be cured in accordance with Part 10 section. Repair material shall be shrinkage. Repair material shall be shrinkage compensated in both liquid and cured state. Contains no metallic expansion system. Be packed and factory quality controlled. Of thermal expansion, fully compatible with host concrete and which complies with requirements of table this one. Property requirements of microconcrete, property requirements of microconcrete, and it is be a free flowing cementitious material that has a coefficient of thermal expansion, fully compatible with host concrete and which complies with this requirement of property requirements of microconcrete. Property test method minimum value. Compressive strength is property. Test method is BSE and 129-139 and on 28 days it is 50 MPa. Compressive strength. That is minimum value on 28 day. Flexural strength BS 4551 28 day. That is now say compressive strength according to BSE and 12390-28 MPa. Flexural strength is a BS 451 28 days the 10 MPa. Flexural strength 20% of that you can say. Compressive strength here is 10 MPa, compressive is 50 MPa, and anchorage bond BS 8110 is passes. Crack injection. We can say likewise, crack injection of specification covers non-active cracks within concrete elements caused by shrinkage or other structural movement. This clause of specification covers non-active cracks caused within concrete elements caused by shrinkage or other structural movements. Non-active cracks shall be injected with a low viscosity epoxy resin to fill and seal crack and restore its structural integrity. Before, before to starting injection operation, it shall be established by testing and investigation work that cracks manifest within concrete elements due to either or both shrinkage or structural movement are non-active. Before to starting injection operation, it shall be established by testing and investigation work that cracks manifest within concrete elements due to either both shrinkage or structural movements are non-active. Extents of cracks to be filled. Extents of cracks to be filled with shall be directed by engineer. Cracks to be filled be marked out in details on concrete elements by contractor and agreed with engineer before processing. Extent of which may be adjusted by engineer. Extent of work may be adjusted by engineer as project proceeds according to conditions found. Grease, oil or other contaminants be removed. Algae and other biological growth shall also be removed by scrubbing with bactericide crushing aids. So we can say a couple of minutes now. I need to go up and come back. Meanwhile, you can read this page, and I'll take another 15-20 minutes for this to complete. Sorry. Before starting injection operation, before starting injection operation, it will be established by testing. It shall be established by testing and investigation. Work that cracks manifest within concrete elements due to either or both shrinkage or structural movement are non-active. Extent of cracks to be filled shall be directed by engineers. Cracks to be filled shall be marked out in detail on concrete elements by contractor and agreed with engineer before proceeding. Extent of work may be adjusted by engineer as project proceeds according to conditions found. Grease, oil or other contaminants shall be removed. Algae and other biological growth shall also be removed by scrubbing with bactericide or detergent and clean water. If necessary, wire brushes shall be used. Grease, oil or other contaminants shall be removed. Algae and other biological growth shall also be removed by scrubbing with bactericide or detergent and clean water. If necessary, wire brush shall be used. Loose or spalling areas of concrete, latent traces of paint or other coating materials with marked out scope of work shall be removed. Again I say, grease, oil or other contaminant shall be removed. Algae and other biological growth shall also be removed by scrubbing or with bactericide or detergent and clean water or use of wire brush. Loose or spalling areas of concrete, latent traces of paints or other coating materials within marked out scope of work shall be removed. All cracks shall be thoroughly cleaned out using clean, oil-free compressed air. Both concrete surface and cracks shall be allowed to dry thoroughly before continuing. Both concrete surface and cracks shall be allowed to dry thoroughly before continuing. Injection nipples shall be fixed at intervals along length of each crack. Distance between each nipple depends on width and depth of crack. Spacing shall be close enough to ensure that resin penetrates along crack to next point of injection. This normally be between 200 mm and 100 mm. Each nipple be firmly bonded to concrete surface by using a sealant. Sealant shall be supplied in two pans, liquid base and hardener system. Two components shall be thoroughly mixed together for 3 to 4 minutes until emphasize that each nipple shall be firmly bonded. Each nipple shall be firmly bonded to concrete surface by using a sealant. Sealant shall be supplied in two parts, liquid base and hardener system. Both components shall be thoroughly mixed together for 3 to 4 minutes until a putty-like consistency is achieved. Mixed sealant shall be applied to metal base of each surface fixed nipple. This shall be pressed firmly into place and held for several seconds until secure. Mixed sealant shall be applied around each embedded nipple, ensuring mixed sealant shall be applied around each embedded nipple, ensuring a complete seal is made. In this way, all nipples be fixed along length of crack. In case of a wall or slab which is cracked all the way through, nipples shall be located on both sides, with those at back placed at midway joint points between those in front. Surface of cracks between nipples shall be sealed with band of sealant 30 to 40 mm wide. Surface of cracks says surface of cracks between nipples shall be sealed with band of sealant 30 to 40 mm wide and 2 to 3 mm thick. Both sides of cracks which go all the way through a wall or slab shall be sealed in this way. It says in case of walls or slab which is cracked, all the way through, nipples shall be located on both sides, with those at back placed at midway points between those in front. Surface of cracks between nipples shall be sealed with a band of sealant 30 to 40 mm wide, 2 to 3 mm thick, both sides. If cracks which go all the way through a wall or slab shall be sealed in this way. Prepared cracks shall be allowed to cure for 12 to 24 hours. Prepared cracks shall be allowed to cure for 12 to 24 hours at low ambient temperatures 5 degrees Celsius to 12 degrees Celsius. 5 degrees Celsius to 12 degrees Celsius curing time be extended, and contractor shall ensure that surface sealant has adequately cured before continuing. One end of injection hose shall be attached to lowest nipple on vertical cracks. Or to either end of horizontal cracks. Each crack shall be treated in a single continuous operation. Sufficient material shall therefore be made ready before commencement of work. One end of injection hose shall be attached to lowest nipple on vertical cracks or to either end of horizontal cracks. Each crack shall be treated in a single continuous operation. Sufficient material be made ready for Contractor Contractor shall ensure that sufficient cracks are prepared to provide effective use of mixed material. Contractors shall ensure that sufficient cracks are prepared to provide effective use of mixed material. Contractors shall ensure that sufficient cracks are prepared to provide effective use of mixed material. Contractor shall ensure that sufficient cracks are prepared to provide effective use of mixed material. Preparation, mixing, and application of material shall be undertaken in strict accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. Contractor is to ensure that all necessary tools and equipment are on site. Both compressive strength and fracture strength shall be tested at 7-day. Metal shall exhibit excellent bond to concrete, and when tested for tensile adhesion, failure shall be in concrete. Shall be of pre-packaged or pre-weighed type, and only use of full units shall be allowed. Full unit shall be allowed. Injection resin shall be of pre-packaged or pre-weighed type, and only use of full unit shall be allowed. No part packs or on-site batching shall be allowed under any circumstances. No part packs or on-site batching be allowed under whatever circumstances. Injections shall be in pre-packaged or pre-weighed type, and only use of full units shall be allowed. In all operations of storage, mixing, and application, contractor shall comply with health and safety recommendations of manufacturer and governing authorities. All operations of storage, mixing, and applications, contractor shall comply with health and safety recommendations. Damaged areas made good to satisfaction of engineer. Injection material shall be compatible with most concrete and have properties as shown. Injection material shall be compatible with host concrete and have properties as shown. When tested in accordance with relevant standards, property requirements for epoxy crack injection material, compressive strength BS44551, BS2782, BS6319, 70 MPa, flexural strength BSCN 12390, and polyester resin concrete PRC piping system for non-pressure drainage and sewerage. we have gone through requirements of this. That's important one. And here we can say I think we have gone through some good specifications in our today's deliberation. Concrete is very important material. Not only it's important, but it is widely used currently. Therefore, its knowledge, its detailed knowledge requirement is important for everyone, engineer or non-engineer, because it's expensive, and once it is done, it cannot be undone. Something once we do it, it's very permanent material. It's not like brickwork or plaster or finishing items. It's not like doors and windows. Means this cannot be taken out and replaced. That's first point. And even if it's required to be replaced, it becomes very expensive, and that is important point in this. And we will take up this later on, and I think we have done well as far as this is concerned. Again, I say, if you want to write to me for contracts, for some consultancy, for some engineering question, my email ID is suraj_engineer@yahoo.co.uk. UK is only mere by chance that, but it is nothing. I am based currently in Bharat, India. You are most welcome to write to me if you feel my requirement. About quality in Bharat, India. It's also very important, and this is here, page 173. We'll be back here again with this. I think we should now move forward.